Now, can you share with our viewers the dynamics of entrepreneurial families and the challenges they encounter when they're trying to pass the business over or their foundations to their families?
Sure. First, very big difference between foundations. That's just giving away money. But you know, we have an expression in English called from shirt sleeves to shirt sleeves in 3 generations. The Dutch call it from clogs to clogs in 3 generations. The Japanese call it from rice paddies to rice paddies in 3 generations. And literally in almost every language, there's an acknowledgement that the first generation makes it, the second generation takes it, and the third generation loses it. This has been going on for history, because very often when the first generation that makes it, they're so focused on making it that they're not thinking, they don't have enough time to think about what are the traits that I want to give to my kids to help them perpetuate it. So the second generation inherits the wealth, but they don't have the skills or the disciplines that the first generation have. But they have the wealth. Well, the third generation grows up that just takes everything for granted, and that's where they lose it. And so this is a story that's been going on for time immemorial. We do think that there are some things you can learn from the lucky few families that have had multi-generational wealth. Some of it has to do with asset classes, some of it has to do with training. The thing that I find most exciting is a member of ours who basically says, I don't want to give my kids anything. Excuse me, a potential member of ours. I don't want to give my kids anything, but I'm willing to invest everything in them. And it's that notion of investing in your kids. How do you invest? How do you help them understand that wealth is not just a gift but carries responsibilities, and what are the things that help perpetuate? So, you know, if little Richie Rich comes into the family business and wants everybody to respect him because he inherited the business, it doesn't take long for people to realize whether he or she is worth his or her medal. People who respect the fact that maybe they've been lucky enough to inherit a business, but if they can't respect the people who are making the business successful, they'll lose their respect and the business falls apart. So there are a lot of little things, but the one thing that we've learned is that communication and setting expectations consistently over long periods of time. And the other part is most people think of financial capital when they bring up inheritance. I think it's much more valuable to talk about social capital and intellectual capital and reputational capital. When, you know, if I can teach my kids that a good name is as important as is more important than any amount of money, that will guide them in the things they do in a beautiful way. And being honorable and treating people fairly and with respect. I've probably fallen down on that from one time or another, but kind of thinking about these values and imparting them to your kids is one of the keys to perpetuating a successful family.